Welcome to this video on nutrients, of course in the topic of nutrition, but another term I tend to go for, and as stated on the specification, is the phrase biological molecules. Now, what are the big three, I ask you? What are the big three molecules? The macronutrients. The first of which I want to talk about is, let's say, found in pasta. Pasta is a source of what? Excellent. A carbohydrate. So, carbohydrates, as it says on the tin, contains three elements. It contains carbon, contains hydrogen, and that final 8. But what does 8 refer to? You got nitrate, you got phosphate, you got sulfate, for instance. Nitrate contains nitrogen and something else. Sulfate contains sulfur and something else. What's that something else? Excellent. It refers to oxygen. So carbon, it has carbon found in carbohydrates. It has carbon, it has hydrogen, and then that 8 refers to oxygen. So as stated in the specification, you need to have appreciation of all the elements found in these macronutrients. So you've got carbohydrates, you've got carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, the lot. But my question to you is, what are carbohydrates for? Like, what's the role, the significance? Now, if digested, carbohydrates can be digested into glucose. And that glucose can be used to promote energy release, isn't it? But what event am I talking about? What is glucose used in? What key process? Cytoplasmically or in the mitochondria? Spot on, respiration. So respiration is the process to which we release energy. Does anyone know the 3-letter molecule, that energy money, energy cashola, and it shares the same abbreviations, letters for the tennis governing body? Yeah, amazing. ATP. So you've got the carbohydrates. If digested, you have glucose, and it's an energy storage molecule. Amazing. Now, another big macronutrient is something that's found in steak, chicken, shawarma, beef. Yes, exactly. A diet that's rich in protein. So proteins. What's the role of a protein, I ask you? Take, for instance, bodybuilders, people who go to the gym after obviously doing their push-pull split or their bicep curls to benching, for instance. Afterwards, they've got to have a very protein-rich diet because they're going to damage those muscle fibers and they're going to grow and repair them, aren't they? So growth and repair play a significant role. Is the role of proteins, aren't they? But also proteins are biological. Do you know that? We have biological proteins. In our body, we have enzymes. They're proteins. Fun fact. Other proteins include what's found in the red blood cell, hemoglobin. Hormones. There's a lot of hormones that are proteins. As well as neurotransmitters. So I'll just write neurotransmitter here. In fact, let me write somewhere else. In fact, I'll shorthand it for NT. To be honest, it isn't deep. If you didn't get that note, if you didn't write that down, anyways. Nutrients. So we've got carbohydrates, got proteins. Another thing is lipids, a technical word for fats. And the goal of fats, lipids, is for one, provide a storage of energy. Secondly, electrically and thermally, it provides that key word. Yeah, you guys want to be keyword warriors, don't you? Because as you know, the mark scheme is full of keywords. What keyword am I referring to where it's found in walls and it traps heat? Excellent, insulation. So fats play an important role in insulation. Thirdly, we have a lot of fat in our body as a means of protecting organs, so organ protection. So organ protection. Great, so we've got carbohydrates, got lipids, fats, proteins. Now, what are the elements that make up lipids? Well, it has carbon, it has hydrogen, it has oxygen, and pretty niche element as well. And this element essentially makes up part of the cell membrane, and it's phosphorus. So CHOP, and I think this is a reference to a meme. I don't know when the viewer's watching this video, but there's a meme that relates to the word CHOP. I don't really get it either. Maybe in the comment below you can let me know. So you've got proteins. Now proteins, their elements include carbon, include oxygen, include nitrogen. That's a special one, so I'll circle it in purple here. And then finally, have you ever wondered why eggs smell, rank when you cook them? It's because of that sulfur content. So sulfur. So these are the 5 elements. I remember there was a question in one of the cycle tests, and 5 elements of proteins, and everyone forgot about sulfur. And it's in the textbook of one particular textbook as well, one page. But anyway, sulfur. So S for sulfur, N for nitrogen. Great, so we've got carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and the thing is, when you digest proteins, you get amino acids, don't you? And then amino acids can join together, chain together, and make new proteins, make new muscular proteins, and so on and so forth. Amazing. There's another couple, you need to know in this section, and it's water. Water is important as well because obviously it prevents dehydration. Further to that comment, it also helps with digestion. It prevents constipation. What also prevents constipation? Exactly, fiber. Now fiber helps with this event where, let's say, the ball of food, so let's say this is the mouth and the esophagus over there, and it's the contraction. What's that event called? Nando's chicken? Yeah, peristalsis. The reference to Nando's chicken is obviously peri-peri chicken. You consume it and you have to appreciate the event to which where the muscles in the esophagus contract in a rhythmic fashion is otherwise known as peristalsis. So it supports peristalsis fiber. Water actually acts as an excellent metabolite. A metabolite just means reactant, and also it's a solvent. It acts as a solvent for many chemical reactions to occur, and these are the big 5 really: the macronutrients, carbohydrates, lipids and proteins, and fiber and water. You also need to know about minerals and vitamins. So vitamins, there's 3 you need to know. So you've got vitamin A, which is important for eyesight. Vitamin C, which is important for what you guys buy on Fortnite, if that's still a trend anymore, where the costumes, what they call different costumes, exactly, skins. So vitamin C is important for skin. Vitamin D is important for parts of the skeletal system, bone. So bones, teeth, the lot. Also plays a role in absorbing calcium ions. So that's the vitamins. The minerals, you just got to think chemistry, okay? Minerals, you got to name drop the ions. So take, for instance, calcium here, which we just previously discussed, is involved in helping help promote bone improvement, bone density. It's important for bone density and whatnot, as well as phosphates, to be fair. And phosphate ions, by the way, calcium, I'm using chemical symbols here. Phosphate ions are important for this structure here. You guys can work this out. Doner kebab looking structure, shawarma looking structure. Yes, DNA. So it helps with DNA synthesis, phosphate ions. Also, if you didn't know, it's the P in ATP. So it helps with ATP synthesis. Another one to appreciate includes, well, there's a reason why I'm writing this in red. Ions. So Fe2+. Now Fe2+, iron, is important for particular proteins found in these particular types of cells. What am I particularly noting down? What am I referring to? Exactly. So hemoglobin. Now hemoglobin requires iron. The word heme is in reference to its iron-rich complex. And hemoglobin is found in red blood cells to pick up the oxygen and load the oxygen and unload it as well. Brilliant. So here's the vitamins and here are the minerals, and here's a question. Have a go at this question and pretend you're in the exam hall. You're under pressure. You've got 9 minutes, because there's 9 marks, to really secure that grade 9. Okay, so please use the YouTube section as well. Use the comments section below and write your answer, and I could review it and give you a score out of 9. So pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm drawing the assumption that you've paused the video, and I'm going to show the mark scheme in the next 2 seconds. So 1, 2. Raise your hand if you completely neglected the word other. Or raise your hand and let me know if you actually talked about minerals and vitamins somehow. Yeah, if you did, then you need to really appreciate reading the question and really comprehending every word of the question. And it was the keyword other. So what not to say would be the vitamins A causes this, vitamin C causes that. Do not say vitamins and minerals. But here's the mark scheme. Carbohydrates for energy and respiration. Lipids is important for the stuff I was talking about. Energy, storage, insulation, organ protection. Myelin is the electrical insulation I was referring to. So neurons are wrapped around the special type of fat called myelin, and it helps increase the signal. So it sort of speeds up the impulses from one neuron to another. Also hormones, there's a lot of lipid hormones, steroid hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, aldosterone, sylvester-stallone. The lot, obviously not the last one I mentioned because that's an actor's name. You got hormones, you got protein is required for growth and repair, required for hormones, antibodies, neurotransmitters, enzymes. Okay, hands up if you said water is used as a solvent. And this is a good one as well, actually. Temperature regulation, this idea of thermal reg. That's a future video, by the way. Prevents constipation. Fibers important for digestion. Prevents constipation. Provides peristalsis, roughage, and so on and so forth. So yeah, give you a score out of 5. And the second question. Now, the second question had to be referred to the keyword pregnant or pregnancy. Because if you look at this section here, answer makes no mention of the fetus or embryo or baby, you're capped at 3 marks. So really read the question, okay? But nevertheless, if you talked about vitamin A, it's important for eyesight, vision. Vitamin C is important for skin, connective tissue. D is important for bones, teeth, calcium absorption. Calcium, now notice this talks about the chemistry side of things, and this is actually referring to the minerals. Exactly. And you got iron for hemoglobin production. Phosphate, important for bones, DNA and RNA. Okay. And look at this as well. Ignore scurvy, ignore rickets. These are the diseases to which you are, let's say deficient in vitamin C. You'd be exposed to scurvy. If you're deficient in vitamin D or calcium, you'd be prone to rickets, and so on and so forth. Okay, so give yourself a score out of 4 and let me know in the comment section below. Good luck to any exams. Perhaps you've got an exam tomorrow or the next hour. All the best, and I do appreciate a like, comment and subscription. And please, if you could inform other schools or tell your sibling to subscribe to amino acid, not amino acid, sorry, amino acid, then that's very much appreciated. Yeah, take care, all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.